Hey guys, real quick, I just want to mention that you're going to want to watch through this whole video because I might get a little bit annoying at some points, but I say a lot of important stuff that you guys aren't going to want to miss out on. So you're going to want to watch through the whole video. But yeah. Hey, what's going on, guys? And today we are going to be talking about headshots. So in this game, I have just recently started going for headshots. I haven't really gone too much. I started going for black skies, what I should say. But I was pretty bad at getting headshots early on, but I've gotten a lot better recently. I've gotten like 12, 14, 15, 18, 20 headshots in a game. And there's a lot of reasons to this. So one thing that doesn't matter too much that I should mention now is hardcore. So, as you can see in this gameplay, I'm playing hardcore. And the reason you want to play hardcore is it's not as hard. Like, you can just, right there, hit a headshot. You can just shoot like one bullet in the head, and it's not really hard. So that one's kind of up to you, but I would personally recommend hardcore. The other thing is your attachments. So you're 100%, the two must-haves on your gun is an optic and suppressor. So you want to have suppressor and you want to run ghost in your class. So whatever gun you're going for, optic, suppressor, and ghost. So if you want suppressor and ghost so that you are like just always off the radar, there's a lot of reasons that you're going to want that I'll explain in a little bit. But you just want those. Then you want a sight because there's a lot of reasons to it. I explain a little bit in my stream, but sights just make it easier to line up on that set. I personally like the ELO sight. It's like a mix between iron sights and sights, and I'm not a sight person. Like, everyone that is a friend of mine that plays this game, or any Call of Duty, knows that I do not like sights, but you want sights. So say you're hiding back here, or I'll get into that in a minute. I'll talk more about sights in a minute. I just want to get on with some of the strategies first. So you might want to hear what I have to say about sights too. So the first strategy, I'm going to say about 5 different strategies. So one is sort of camping-ish. So say I actually had a good example in a previous recording, but I ended up deleting it because that's pretty annoying. Because I'm playing while I'm recording, just because I don't want to do all that. But one is sort of camping where you know enemies are going to walk by. So there's always an area like it on any map. It's hard in bots because they're bots. But we'll use this right here as an example. So say this could be on any map. This could be on Mayday. This could be on whatever, Scorch. But say enemies, like this is an area where a lot of enemies move through. You could sit like right here, and once an enemy like walks through right there, like they're sprinting on through, you just hit them in the head. Just sort of camping. Just hit them in the head. And that's really effective. You can't stay there for too long because then they'll realize where you are. But just areas where lots of enemies walk through and you just kind of wait for them to walk past you and just shoot them in the head. So that's the first strategy. The second strategy is domination. So this is my personal like favorite strategy. It works extremely well. If you get on the map, Retaliation, I personally think is an amazing map for it. But if you get on a map where the B flag, you can stay hidden. You can be kind of far away, like where the enemies won't really see you. You wanna go in an area like that. Like if the B flag was right there, you could kind of just be hiding out. If you can have an angle down on them, like elevation, That's a big help, because the B flag was right there under that thing. You can stand on this and kind of watch down on it. And then you want the flag to be neutral or your own team's, and that way, when they start capping it, you can just, when they won't really see you or suspect you, you could just hit them in the head. So that's one extremely effective strategy. I would personally recommend it. So right there we have two strategies, sort of like camp, waiting, and then watching B flag. Then the other one is watching doorways where they won't really, like where you know people are going to come, you're going to line up headshots. So you know a lot of people are going to come through here. You have your sight. And that's one part, you can see right there. See, say I was aiming at head length, and you can see my gun is blocking a lot of the view underneath. But if I have a sight where you're aiming at their head, you could also see some of their body. So that way, if someone came in crouching, or they slid, or they're prone, you could still sort of see them, so that your gun's not blocking it. But you can watch doorways to just line up your head and just pick them off as they're running through that doorway. And then always just get used to keeping your gun at head length, because you don't really want to run around and just play, because you'll get lucky once in a while hitting that headshot, but you don't want to keep running around, because you're just not going to have time for aiming to that head. But eventually, if you just get used to always aiming for that head, it's hard because people are always boosting around and stuff. But if you just get used to always going around head length, you can get a lot of headshots. So you just want to flank as much as you can. Just always just keep trying to flank the enemy, and then people will be sitting there shooting and all that, sniping, doing all of that, and you can just flank them and get an easy headshot. So you just want to flank, sort of camp, wait for people to run past you so you can hit the headshot. Watch the B flag and domination. Watch certain doorways where people are going to come in. Always keep your gun at head length. Have an optic and suppressor, and that way when you're flanking, dead silence helps a lot too, and so you're not like boosting and stuff. But if you have suppressor and ghost and dead silence, like you can flank the enemies and they'll like barely ever know that you're there. A lot of the times I just streamed, and there would be times where there would be two people next to each other that I'd flank, and I'd be behind both of them, and I'd shoot one, and the other one like wouldn't even notice. Like, so much goes on in this game that they don't even realize that you're there, and they just keep doing what they're doing, and you can shoot them in the head too. So those are pretty much my main strategies. Like, it helps a lot. I sucked with headshots in this game. Like in Black Ops 3, it was pretty easy for me, but in this game, it was really hard for me to get headshots. But just try out these things if you're struggling, and it helps a lot. And the other thing, one last tip that I have to say is, don't worry about too much about like your KD and stuff. Like, I personally, when I'm using the guns I want, like the UMP, when I'm using the UMP, I can get like 40, 50, 60, 70 kills a game and only like 20 deaths at the most. Like, I can do really good. But when I was using the Volk, getting headshots, I do not like the Volk at all, and I suck with it. There would be games where I'd be like 20 and 30, like I would do bad. Just don't worry about that too much. Like, if you only want like one or two guns gold, it's fine. Like, you can just play and just do these strategies sort of, and if you still want to maintain your KD, then that's fine. But if you're like me and you're trying to get Black Sky quickly, like I'm just trying to get it just to show off when I go into zombies games with some randoms. They're like, holy balls, you have dark or Black Sky, not dark matter, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Um, so that's cool, but you don't worry too much about your KD, because just if you really want to get Black Sky quickly, you're just gonna have to focus on these headshots and just go for them. Like, don't worry about doing good, because if you're worrying about that, then it's almost like if you're just doing really good, you're usually not going to get too many headshots. Like, sometimes you can do both. I had one game where I had like 20 headshots and ended up having like 40 kills total and only like 20 deaths. But that's usually pretty rare. Usually you're not going to do too good, honestly, just because it's hard going for headshots. But if you really want it, like, and you just want to get this done, just don't worry about your KD and your winning and all that kind of stuff. Just focus on these headshots and they'll come to you. And you'll get used to it more. And the more you get used to it, the better you're going to do. So I hope these strategies help you out. They're definitely helping me out. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe and leave a like if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.